The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
Oh, hi there. Hi there, it's Friday. Woohoo!
Hooray!
And we're coming off the heels of a CJ show, and we're in CJ show season. CJ show season, because today is the official 1 week mark from trade deadline. And it's kind of weird this year because I feel like Four Nations cut a big chunk into the excitement around trade deadline. I think Mikko Rantanen moving early was one thing that was like, oh, that's so exciting. Then we got Four Nations, like, oh, that's so exciting. Then we come back and it's like, well, we're not even really sure who's selling. And it's kind of been...
Also, the JT Miller deal was the big one that was going to happen.
Yeah.
That already happened. It seems like we already got like the huge deal. Nothing is going to top Mikko Rantanen getting traded unless Mikko Rantanen gets traded again.
What about a Pettersson deal?
Rantanen's still bigger.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because
that's going to be the biggest deal of the year unless he gets traded again. And even then, like if he gets traded again, it still won't top the first time he was traded because of everything that came of that and how that came out of nowhere.
It was pretty surprising.
I
think we might get some surprises. I got a bone to pick. I got a bone to pick with CJ show.
What is it?
Because the show is called. It's what are the Leafs gonna do? It was something along those lines, and I listened to it the whole way in, and I was enraptured. Like I was listening to it. So much information, and all of it was good, and so much speculation, and all of it was good. And as I'm pulling into the driveway today, they're like, "All right, now let's get to the Leafs."
Yeah.
I was like, "No!"
Yeah.
So now I'll have to listen to it on the way.
Producer Donkey Face definitely put that in a, like he waited, and he waited, and he waited, and he waited.
Producer Donkey Balls.
Yeah. By the way, this morning, and this should come as no surprise if you know anything about gambling, the Leafs are plus 400, the best odds to land Mikko Rantanen at the trade deadline. Now, Jesse, when you see a story like this, what do you instantly think?
Odds often do not tell the story of what is most likely to happen. Sometimes they just say that where the market wants to put their money.
Right.
So people are the betting market knows that people want to put money on the Leafs to do things, so they have the best odds. So.
That's why they're always like the Stanley Cup favorite in the middle of the summer. It's like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Well, better get that bet now.
That's how you know you should be putting your money on like Connor Murphy.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just no. What could the Leafs possibly offer the Hurricanes for Mikko Rantanen?
I mean, listen, I'm sure they could figure it out, but I just don't think that if you're talking about priorities, it's center and then defense and then wing. Do they have holes on all three?
Yeah,
absolutely.
But what if the wing is Mikko Rantanen?
Yeah, I don't think it really matters. I think it's sort of like it's a priority of like where's our skill at a deficit.
Right.
You can put Mikko Rantanen next to Max Domi if you want to. I just don't know that and I think that'd be great for Max. But is that the best way to deploy your assets?
No, no, it is
right?
not even sort of.
So it's not. I just don't think it's one of those things that's very realistic. But boy, that would be nice. And it's funny too. I wanted to. We're going to get to a few things today. Obviously, we're going to talk about the Oilers. We're going to talk about the Canucks. We're going to talk about this NHL front office poll that was done by agents for The Athletic, which is actually really, really good. But I wanted to start the show with something really positive. Okay? And it's Craig Berube, who was on Fan 590 yesterday. And he said, this team is a breath of fresh air for me to come in and see how hard they work. The fans, the media, and everything. It's been awesome. So Craig Berube likes the media.
Uh-oh. Oh, gosh. That sure
what do we do now?
That sure does interrupt a few narratives. Well, Adam, I suppose we all have to find something new to talk about. We all have to find something new to blame because, unfortunately, it's not the fans or the media. So I don't know. Perhaps it's the quality of the ice.
Right. Something to that.
It's got to be something. So let's pick a thing at random because apparently there's nothing behind it.
I feel like that is there's a guy almost like William Nylander where you're like, yeah, like. You can play here. You can cut it here because it isn't for everybody necessarily.
No,
and it was interesting hearing say one guy that it was clearly not for whether he could cut it or not. We didn't really get a chance to see, but Ryan O'Reilly made it clear when he didn't accept the same offer to stay in Toronto as he got in Nashville. I think there's tax reasons for that too,
of course.
But very clearly when he accepted that deal, it was like, yeah, I'm not really down for this. It's not for me.
tricky.
And
it can be tricky.
His name has come up in trade discussions featuring the Maple Leafs because he's a center and they need one. But CJ seems to think that ship might have sailed, which is, for the Leafs.
Yeah, I don't know. He doesn't want to be here. Like we talked about, Nick Robertson, and he requested a trade. It's difficult to forget about that.
I can move on from that pretty quick.
It's different with O'Reilly, but he didn't want to be here.
It's also, I don't understand why you would trade him.
Oh, if you're Nashville?
If you're Nashville, why are you moving him when he has 2 years left on his deal?
We've been through this because they're not smart.
They don't have center depth. He's a good center. He has 2 years left. He's making a little bit of amount of money.
Yeah.
Why would
he's making 4% on the cap, nothing?
What? Why are you trading this player?
Go ahead and look at the standings. Here, scroll. No, scroll. Here, keep scrolling. There's Nashville.
Can I throw something at you, Jesse?
That's still not a reason to move.
They're not smart.
To support Steve's point, Jesse, a center that's got four goals in 8 games, which is pretty good for I would say midline
really
center. Yeah.
Pontus Holmberg?
No.
He's got 4 goals.
This is a Nashville connected center.
Colton Sissons.
No.
Who?
Philip Tomasino.
He's the center?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah, I was like,
sometimes. Sometimes he's a center. And he scored a lot. And they got him for a bag of chips. And, I just want to throw that out there that things are not smart in Nashville right now. I don't know that I think Barry Trotz is one of the best head coaches of all time. I think that he's maybe not a general manager. And we're finding out potentially why Washington, after a tremendous amount of success, aka a Stanley Cup, moved on from him because he probably had a lot of opinions on what players should be brought in. The Islanders, after 2 or 3 deep runs in the playoffs, they're like, you know what, Barry? Let's get somebody else.
I have a feeling the Preds might be sneaky active.
Well, they have a lot of draft capital. They have a lot of cap space, and they probably have some contracts that they'd like to get rid of. Do you think that the Preds are looking at Steven Stamkos right now, going, "Be cool to find you a home"?
I think they're an option for Dylan Cousins, and I think they're an option for Elias Pettersson.
Yeah, the Predators should buy.
Yeah,
they should honestly don't trade Stamkos. I think that's ridiculous. You keep all your guys and then you just add because you have a whole bunch of cap space and capital and draft capital. So you keep adding and then you'll be good next year.
How do you?
They're not far off from being good.
If you're Nashville, do you just throw a bunch of picks at the Sabres? The Sabres can't get more picks either. They need to get players now. They should be buying.
Yeah, but now it's the battle of the dumb.
Who do you pick to win the battle of the dumb?
Well, I think the Sabres drag you down to their level and beat you with experience when it comes there. Nashville, they walk into the bar thinking they're hot stuff, but they're new dumb, right? Mm-hmm. They don't get it. You can smell the new dumb on them.
Right.
Yeah, they're not generations of dumb like you have in Buffalo. Their daddy was dumb, and their daddy for him was also dumb.
Now Skeeter, he ain't looking for any trouble.
They got generations of dumb down in Buffalo.
I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, well, so let's talk about then the thing that in the CJ show that they mentioned was Braden Schenn. Jeremy Rutherford from The Athletic.
I heard this part.
Wrote a piece. Braden Schenn, according to CJ, seems to be the guy that the Leafs are most focused on right now. Tomorrow, this could change, guys. Mm-hmm. But the great thing about the St. Louis end of this is they keep going, well, we don't need to trade him. Oh, we don't need to trade him. And I always go back to...
What did they say?
We don't need to. I always go back to Mark Bergevin, summer 2016, saying, we're not shopping PK Subban. We're not shopping him. I think they're taking calls. And I'm wondering, and for whatever reason, the Toronto media has gone hey, not only Braden Schenn, let's get Colton Parayko too.
Yeah.
As though that's a possibility.
I said that last show, mostly jokingly. There is a salary cap.
Yeah. Listen, no, if Vegas can make it work, we can too.
If the Leafs said, we'll give you Cowan, Danford, and Minton, I think the Blues still say no within 3 seconds.
I think you're wrong on that. I think they would take that.
For Schenn and Parayko?
Plus,
you're on drugs.
You probably get Domi and Conf too for some salary.
Oh, great. What? That makes it worse.
Oh, yeah, no, they're going to do it then.
That makes it worse.
That's like one of those NHL video game trades where you keep adding things to make the little bar go up so that the trade value.
2026 7th, 2027 7th,
How many
2028
garbage guys
7th.
can add to one Colton Parayko is essentially what you're trying to do.
All right, you know what gets this across the line? Nick Abruzzese. There you go. We get it done.
Colton Parayko, I think, is in the same thing of the Ryan O'Reilly conversation of why are you moving him? Like, I don't think that makes a lot of sense for them to trade one of the best right-handed defensemen who's making $6.5 million for the next 3 seasons. Just move him to Toronto for no reason.
Underratedly noisy team. They're noisier than their weight.
St. Louis?
The St. Louis Blues are always
Well, they
noisy.
fired their head coach because they thought they'd be better, and they're clearly not good. We don't lump them in the camp of like teams that fell under expectations, but the way Doug Armstrong looks at this team is we were supposed to be a playoff team, and we have fallen way below.
Hold on. Did
the
they
reason-
fire their head coach because they thought this guy's just objectively better?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's that.
yeah.
Like, I don't know if they were expecting to make the playoffs.
No, I think there's both. Like,
Yeah?
we're not getting enough out of the head coach we currently have. We can get a head coach who's better than what we have, and we are supposed to be good, so let's try and be good.
When I say they're noisy, I think Doug Armstrong's really active, but they're always in the middle of every rumor. Remember, it was like turkey vultures friggin' just circling them when they were in last in late 2018. Pietrangelo was getting moved, and he was rumored to be going to the Leafs. Parayko was getting moved, and he was rumored to be going to the Leafs.
Yeah.
And like everyone, and then they end up winning the cup with both of those guys. And that was the year they fired their coach too. They're just, I don't know. I'm not accusing Doug Armstrong of anything, but I am. I think he leaks a lot.
Yeah. He's chatting.
And he makes it fun.
He's chumming the water. I like that.
He absolutely chumming the water. I'm not getting rid of Braden Schenn. Why would I do that? Unless the price is right. Oh, shut up, Doug. We see right through you, Doug. And also, don't shut up. Keep it coming.
I think we also all forget because it was announced 3 years before it was going to happen. But at the end of the 2026 season, Alex Steen becomes GM of the St. Louis Blues. And Doug Armstrong
No, that's
no
right,
longer
Jess.
I'm reminding you guys
Oh,
of this,
you're
right?
right. I forgot.
Like, you have no idea that happened, but that's a thing that is going to happen.
I forgot about that.
And I don't know if that underscores what he does or the fact that like Steen's there learning that role, but it's an odd situation that I don't think we've ever seen in pro sports, like any league,
No.
where they've announced the successor to the GM 3 years ahead of time, and he's there making all these moves, and eventually at the end of next season, he's going to just pass the torch.
And like it was announced.
Yeah.
Like there was a time with Dubas when he was AGM where like, wow, that's the Wunderkind, the heir apparent. But Mark Hunter thought he was getting that job. Lou Lamoriello thought he was keeping that job. So
And they both quit and went, wham, I'm going home.
Do we see some Alex Anthopoulos Jays where Doug Armstrong knows he's going out because he's already announced he's going to pass the torch, and he tries to win at all costs?
Oh, man.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna offer sheet 2 guys, and I'm gonna nail both of them.
Yeah.
Nail.
Yeah,
them.
he actually nailed them both. I think he even got fair value. Like, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Broberg might be, quote unquote, slightly overpaid, but he's considered like a part of their core moving
He
forward.
was. People forget how good he was before he got hurt.
I agree. And
Yeah.
and people forget how good he was in the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah.
Like-
And then Holloway's just kind of been good the whole time.
And hey, guess what? $4 million for a defenseman ain't that much anymore. You mean 4% on your cap for the next 2 or 3 years for a top 4 guy?
Could be
right shot,
Could be weird. No, he's not a right shot. He can play the right side though.
but he plays the right side.
You know what, Adam? Maybe give him a right-handed stick. See how he does.
Yeah, true. You should do that with.
I wonder if there's any ambidextrous players.
I doubt it.
I think they all are to an extent. I think every NHL player is better at playing on their offhand than you are playing at your
100%.
You know, like in that way.
Yeah, but like you know how some like it's very rare, but some pitchers can pitch both ways. Some batters can bat both ways.
Yeah.
What if? I think wouldn't that be super cool? That'd be cool.
You gotta have a flat stick so you can just flip it over whenever you want to play on each side.
No, you just put Bobby Hastings through hell. And
You switch sticks all game.
give me a left, give me a right. You start a shift with a left and it breaks, and you go, give me a right. That'd be unreal.
Just the note on the Doug Armstrong thing. He's not retiring.
He's moving up to being president, right?
His extension is to be president of hockey operations through 2029.
Okay.
So he already knows his next role, but it's weird.
It is weird. And I mean, listen, it's a wrinkle. I wonder truly, like, Braden Schenn is a centerman who's going to make $6.5 million. He is 40 to 55 point guy. Like there's a bit of a spread here.
Like at this point in his career?
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that that's bad. It just means that like maybe the offense is diminishing, but the defense and smarts are there.
Centers make a lot, man.
They do, and $6.5 million doesn't seem like that much when you consider what centers are going to cost. Like David Kampf, when that deal was signed, that was too expensive. Now next year at $2.5 million for your 2% for your fourth line
too
center.
expensive.
Too expensive for Dave, but
Yeah.
for a fourth line center.
Yeah, I know.
Like I don't feel like Dave Kampf is now like. I think it's like he's fine. It's fine as of next year.
There are two like low, like under the radar moves the Leafs could make at this deadline that would open up some space and then allow them to get a little more creative. That's trading Max Domi and trading David Kampf.
Well, and there's also the Ryan Reeves angle, which has come up.
Yeah.
I like Revo just for. I don't care. People are like, oh, who cares? Why do we have him to be around the dressing room? Well, that's why.
Well,
Because he's cool.
there
Because he's
you
wicked.
go.
Some people just put you in your happy place. If it's $1 million, that's what it costs. Then it's $1 million. I don't care.
I believe Kampf has 3 years. Sorry, 2 years left on his deal, and so does Domi.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that's obviously pretty difficult, but it would give you
Again,
some,
I don't
give
think
you some room to
I don't
play.
think either of those guys as of next year are overpaid in what their roles are. I really don't. You want a third line winger for 3.7 or whatever Domi's making?
I'm hoping that injury that Domi had in November is the carte blanche excuse for everything, and he comes back next year and is actually good.
Yeah.
Because Jesus,
Hey, people were mad at me for saying last show that he's been good the last 3 games. He has.
he's yes.
He has. Does he take the occasional stupid penalty? Yes. Is he bad on defense? Mostly.
He does a lot of micro things that piss me off.
But he's still better than he has been.
I know, just so hard.
Now,
He has such a tough time staying onside.
I'll never get over the being a net negative on offense. Like,
Yep.
he's can't score.
he's got to score.
Can't score a goal.
A non-option to shoot the puck.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
He's 3 goals on the year. They all came in a 3-game span the middle of December and nothing since.
Yeah.
Nothing before.
How many players making over 3.5 in the NHL are you like, that guy cannot shoot the puck?
It's not a long list.
Yeah.
Literally can't shoot the puck. Connor Dewar has the excuse of being Connor Dewar.
Right. He's not getting paid $3.75 million and being tasked with being the third line center and sometimes bumped up to the first 2 lines.
Yeah, and I know he's got no goals this year, but you know how many he had last year? 11! Someone score a goal!
Well, there are.
Robertson said okay.
Robertson's doing it.
And Holmberg said, okay, is there a goalie?
I just want to ask the question.
I thought it was funny.
How much capital are you willing to give the St. Louis Blues if Braden Schenn comes in and is fully paid so they don't retain anything?
Well, Ovechkin and Chikrin and Thompson, that's how much capital.
Aha! Hey!
Oh, absolutely.
Dad jokes
Wretched.
Jesse over here.
Terrible.
What do we got? Like, what do you like? People are like, well, it's going to cost them a pick plus their 2026 first rounder. I'm like, well, then I guess they're going to get Yanni Gourde because that's not, to me, what the Leafs are going to pay for this guy.
I think,
And by the way, I like Yanni Gourde. I'm not down. It's not that I'm not down with Yanni Gourde.
trading your 2026 first and not protecting it while Marner and Tavares is unsigned, I think is psychotic.
Yeah.
I think that's the dumbest thing the Leafs could do this deadline is trade that pick. And I bet every team in the league is asking for it because they should. That's a smart thing to do. There's a chance the Leafs don't get Tavares, they don't get Marner, and no one signs there. Or if the Leafs do sign some guys, it doesn't work out, and that pick is really, really good. And all of a sudden, the Leafs are fucked without it. I'd rather lose Danford, who I don't want to lose. I'd rather lose Minton, who I don't want to lose. I'd rather lose Cowan, who I don't want to lose. Boy, this is that fun conversation where you're like, how do we get everything we want while giving up nothing that we want?
Well, no, I'm fine to give up stuff. Like I told you, like I would be fine with a swap for Brock Nelson as long as it comes with an extension.
I think in order to get something that you want out of the Leafs, like a combination of some pretty good picks, hopefully avoiding the 2026 first, you got to take money back, I think. And I would like, if you're getting a center in Brayden Schenn, I think you need to take Kampf. And that would...
That allows you to re-sign Tavares, who wants to be here.
Well, and then there's that. So Kampf is 2.4. Schenn is what, 6.5?
Yeah.
So that, you're still saving $4.1 million against the cap if you're the Blues. What picks do the Leafs have?
Okay, well, let's look that up.
That's what I'm.
That's a really good question, Steve. I don't have that off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Right. On the screen there.
There we go. It's on the screen.
Oh, shoot! I left my glasses.
A second, a third, a fifth, a sixth, and a seventh this year. A first, a third, a fifth, a sixth the next year, and all their picks in 2027.
Okay, so they have more picks than I thought they did, honestly. Not having the 2025 first hurts.
They have Jake McCabe.
That was the McCabe deal, and you do that every single time. The second and the third this year are very valuable. Obviously, the first next year I want to protect. There's the third next year. And then you get into... Oh, thank you, Maddie. I have my glasses now. And then you have every pick in 2027. But, like, if you're a rebuilding team, what does even a high pick 3 drafts from now do for you? If I'm the Leafs, I'm probably offering up the second and the third this year to any and everybody. The problem is, does that get Brayden Schenn done?
Probably not. You probably need a prospect.
Okay, what kind of a prospect?
Yeah, like is that a Gurbenkin prospect or is that a Cowan prospect?
Somebody a little better than Gurbenkin.
See, because I think now Cowan's too much.
Yeah,
Why?
I agree with that.
Because he's like a really good player.
But Brayden Schenn is Brayden Schenn.
Yeah. All right. Well,
No,
I'm
Brayden
keeping the
Schenn
picks
was
then.
Brayden Schenn. We don't know what he will be.
Well, we know what he is right now.
And he's very good, but I don't think like Easton Cowan objectively, as much as I've been like, hey man, listen, if you get an extension from 3-time almost 40 goal scorer Brock Nelson, trade him.
Here's
but Easton Cowan could skip the AHL and jump right into the league next year and be a 10-goal, 30-point guy right off the bat.
Here's what I would offer, like to give you an answer that's not an answer, but it's enough of an answer. If the Leafs are going to give up someone of Cowan's quality, I need you to take money back.
Sure. So Cowan and Domi.
Cowan Domi is probably wishful thinking.
I think they would take Kampf.
Cowan Kampf for Brayden Schenn. Like any Leaf fan, any Blues fan listening to this, who says no? Let's do the old.
I think there's a lot of Leaf fans who are going to say no on Cowan. Now, and that's because we get attached to our prospects, and that's fine.
You get a center for the next
3 years.
I
think he's got 3 years after this one. Pretty sure.
No, I think it's 2 years.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think it's this year and 2. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because he's in year 5 of 8. It's this year.
Okay.
The third.
No, and then he has 6, and then 7, and then 8.
Now,
Oh, is that how?
yeah, it's 3 more years.
Yeah.
It's 3 more years after.
Oh,
this. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, I know. It says. Yeah, I don't know how they count it. I miscount them.
That's a lot of
That's
control.
a lot of years. Yeah.
That's a lot of control, but it's also a diminishing asset. He's not getting better. He's getting, well, it's just a matter of slowing down the slowdown. Oh, man.
I think you do that for Cowan and Kampf.
I don't know if you do Cowan.
What the Leafs struggle with, here's why I would be okay with that. Like, rentals kill you. Rentals just slowly bleed you dry. Mm-hmm. Right? You're giving up, I think, a prospect as good as Easton Cowan for a guy who's going to play like 20 games for you.
So let's say it's Brock Nelson.
Sure, Brock Nelson, and then you lose in, let's say, the second round.
Or Mikko Rantanen or whatever, right? Like you need an extension.
Well, Rantanen, we're talking, if I'm Carolina, I ask for Nyes. And if I'm Brad, I spend the next 20, 25 minutes belly laughing.
Yeah.
Hitting myself so hard I leave welts. I'm laughing so hard.
So Shenn's
hang up the
Shenn's
phone.
not a rental.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
No.
So
He's also a commitment. $6.5 million. This is a guy that, by the way, in the playoffs, 75 career games, 11 goals, 29 assists, 40 points. So he does perform at about half a point a game.
A cup.
And has a cup. Career high was 70 points in 17-18. He got to 65 2 years ago. And again, you have to remember, St. Louis's scoring has fallen off a cliff the last couple of years. It is down.
You get Braden Schenn for 6.5. You sign Tavares to 6.5. Let's say, for the same amount of...
And you expect Schenn to get back up to 20 goals. I don't know if he's going to hit that this year, but I think it's not unfair to expect him because he had 24, 21, and 20 the last 3 seasons.
I think it's ridiculous that you wouldn't do Cowan and Comfort, Schenn.
I'm saying I'd do it.
No, Adam just said he wouldn't do
I'm
You wouldn't do that trade? Like, what are we hoping for? Cowan's going to be good next year.
Because here's the thing that people don't...
I think
there's a huge misunderstanding in the market of what we think Cowan tops out at. And I think you're right, Jesse, in the sense that like Cowan is going to be a very good player.
Sure.
The expectation is not a point a game player at the NHL level, right? That's the thing with Cowan.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I would. Maybe you're talking me into it.
Deal or not?
You're talking me into it. Well,
okay.
Hey, is this a podcast or not? I'm here talking it out. All right.
Here,
I got to talk it out. I got to feel it. Now, Kampf, I'm fine. That's fine. Cowan, it's like, okay, is that a replaceable draft pick in the next few coming drafts? I think it is. I think you can find other players like that. I think you found Nyes in the second round. I think you found Cowan late in the first. Nobody had heard of this guy.
28th.
I think you can find that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, okay, I do it. Because you get 3 more years of Braden Schenn.
Control is the most important part. And the McCabe deal has worked out pretty well. The difference is this player is older. Boy, I really think he'd tie the room together, though. And you could use him on the wing.
It just makes so much sense for the lineup. Like, I don't care about winning next year. Like, it makes sense for this rest of the season lineup to plug in Braden Schenn.
Yeah.
Like, the lineup works.
If they're taking money back, oh, man.
And the Leafs do have money. What's going to be interesting about July 1st this year, I think you have to keep in mind, because this does factor in now, right? Like, I'm not trying to talk about Marner or Tavares here, but when you look at control and that salary cap going up, by the time Braden Schenn's deal's up, if the Leafs are paying full jack $6.5 million, right? That salary cap, we're expecting to be in 3 years, $113 million, right? Mm-hmm. So that's 3 or 4% of your cap.
That Schenn contract is how we'd look at the Kampf contract, right?
Yes. Yeah, basically.
That's crazy.
That's kind of nuts, right?
It's the same percentage, right? Based on your math there.
So if he's playing fourth line duties at that point, you're like, well, there's worse options. And
I don't think he will be.
I don't think so either. But I that's my point, is financially it does make a lot of sense. Now, the other thing is, in years past, and this is where draft picks were so bloody important. In years past, you had a flat cap for half a decade. And it's going to be really hard to do, but we got to break ourselves of that mindset, because when you look at what's available in terms of cap and how much it's going to go up, and when this CBA is set up, hopefully in June, we have an extension on that. We're going to have a lot more clarity. You can plug holes via free agency now. Mm-hmm. Is it more expensive to do? Sure, it always is. But I think you're also going to see a lot more RFA deals happen. And Jesse, you made a really great point, and it stuck with me. I think it was last podcast or the podcast before, which is, hey, we already know what this guy is. We already know that. We know this guy. We know this guy's good.
Yeah, it's a boat, not the mystery box.
Yeah,
which could be a boat.
Right.
Yeah.
and that you're okay. Fine. I'm talking myself.
Whereas the 2026 first rounder, you have absolutely no idea.
Yes.
I would rather.
Hey, man, there could be a lockout before that. You don't know.
It's damn.
Or after that.
No, like people might think I'm nuts saying I'd trade Easton Cowan. I would trade Easton Cowan before the 2026 pick.
Wow.
You think there's a chance like things go to shit and the Leafs could be bad?
You have to
plan
take that precaution.
Yeah, like I understand that mentality.
The Bruins, right? We talked about they traded Ullmark before solving the Swayman problem. You could argue that decision wrecked their whole season. Mm-hmm. They should be in a playoff spot. Obviously, right now they have the 2 injured defensemen. That's a killer. But the reason they've been hovering in this will they or won't they place all season is because of that one mistake, the Ullmark trade before the Swayman stuff. I've written about this a few times. Like there have been a few times in Leafs history, in my lifetime anyway, where they've traded a pick more than a year ahead of time, and it screwed them every single time. There was a first round pick. I think they traded it in 88 or 89, and it was for the 90 or 91 draft. They had to fight tooth and nail to not finish last place because Eric Lindros was the most highly sought after prospect for decades, like since Gretzky. So the Nordiques went to the Leafs and they're like, hey, we want to be bad. You don't want to be bad. Take a bunch of our good players. Because of the expansion draft, that pick ended up being third overall that the Leafs gave up instead of first. Guess who it was? Scott Niedermayer.
Yeah.
The Leafs gave up a pick over a year ahead of time. I want to say it was in like the Kenny Janssen or Wendell Clark deal or something like that.
Luongo.
It ended up being Roberto friggin' Luongo, which I think was the fourth overall pick in 1997. And the most infamous one in recent memory, they trade a first-round pick a year ahead of time for Phil Kessel, second overall pick because the team sucks, and it's Tyler Seguin.
Oh, and there was another one.
There
was the other first.
Help me.
Douglas Hamilton.
Oh,
the Leafs could have had
they were
Seguin
still bad.
Yeah.
And there was 2 top 10 picks.
Yeah.
Right? So
unprotected. It's one of the worst trades in Brian Burke's history.
This team is too good to bottom out that badly. Probably.
Maybe.
But like you lose, let's say disaster happens.
Yeah.
You don't get Marner. You don't get Tavares. Okay, we'll get Rantanen. You don't get Rantanen. Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll get Kaprizov. You don't get Kaprizov.
Well, he's next year anyway. He's not this year.
Oh, well, then you definitely don't get him.
Because McDavid and Kaprizov are up after 26. That's going to be wild.
There is a very real doomsday scenario.
Yeah,
and
let's
also,
say your goalies get injured. Like Woll and Stollers are out long term, and Matt Murray's the starting goaltender.
Yeah.
Like there's a possibility all these things could happen.
Which is why you do it now.
And I'm Nyes. I'm Tavares. I'm Marner. And you've traded that pick. I think my number went up $500,000 a year.
Right. The price goes
each.
up. Yeah.
You need me. You idiots. You got rid of all your what's the word I'm looking for? Leverage. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love that you knew it and I didn't.
That's okay.
You lose all your leverage, which is what the Bruins did with Swayman.
Yeah, and now when you get to the 2026 trade deadline, when we're a year from now, and they still have that pick, and they're in a position like they are now, then we're like, yeah, fucking trade it because you got to win right now because you didn't win last year. They lose again.
A million percent.
But at least get to that point before you move that pick, and I don't disagree with that at all.
Well, and I keep saying Cowan. If I'm the Blues, I'm like, well, Braden Schenn's a center. So how do we feel about Fraser Minten?
Yeah, which is he's a special bean.
I never expected to get this attached to this player, but like I really do think he's going to be good.
Yeah.
And but if you get Braden Schenn with 3 years left on his deal,
where's Minten playing?
So you trade him.
Especially if you re-sign Tavares. Then like Minten, so you're moving Minten to the wing, like that doesn't make sense.
Maybe Braden
Schenn to the wing.
Maybe Braden Schenn is who you get to prepare for life after Tavares.
Yeah,
Tavares is better.
Well, I think Tavares is going to stay, guys. I think it's just they'll get the deal done after the playoffs. I think the Leafs know that he wants to stay. I think he knows he wants to stay. They'll figure that part out. I just don't think they need to do it right now. And I agree with them. Just keep your doors open, whatever.
Let's get nuts. They trade Cowan for Braden Schenn. And they come to the same conclusion we did. So they're like, all right, now we're getting rid of Minten too. So what do we get?
BetMGM is official sports betting partner of the National Hockey League and has your back all season long. But it's Oscar season. And Sunday night, as we always do, we're going to make our Oscar picks without having seen many of the movies. Although, Jesse, you're more into this than we are. Like, you try to make an effort.
I'm going to be tuned in. I'm going to be very excited. I've seen quite a few of the movies. Actually, I'm going to check out The Brutalist this weekend.
Oh, I want to see that.
That's one of the ones I haven't seen yet, and I want to see it, so I'm going to watch that this weekend. But I want to get you guys to pick all the big categories. And then we're going to come back on Monday in the big story, and we're going to go through who got the most correct or who got any correct.
I'm going to pick mine without knowing the odds, so you can tell me the odds after.
Sure.
Okay? So we're going to start with actor in a leading role. Your nominees are Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes for Conclave, and Sebastian Stan as Donald Trump in The Apprentice. That's going to be a really tough category. So
who are you going with, Steve?
I am going with Ralph. I'm choosing Ralph Fiennes because I have seen the preview for that movie several times.
Adam, who'd you go with?
I'm jacked about seeing The Brutalist because I like brutalist architecture. This is a guy who was like a Hungarian who was behind the Iron Curtain, comes to America, faces, xenophobia, stuff like that. It's a great story. Adrian Brody.
Okay.
Adrian Brody. Now, and he's always a favorite.
He is.
And Timothy Chalamet said when he won the other night, I think it was Critics' Choice or whatever it was, that he was like, I have tried for 5 years to win this award. He's 29. I want him to win it. I still think it's going to be Adrian Brody.
Timothy Chalamet has a chance to become the youngest Oscar winner ever in this category, and he will replace the current record holder, who is Adrian Brody.
Wow.
So if Timothy
there's
Chalamet
a
wins,
stat.
he will break Adrian Brody's record.
I love that.
So there you go. So
Okay.
next up, actress.
Oh, wait, who is the odds-on favorite, by the way?
Adrian Brody
Adrian
is
Brody?
the favorite.
Okay, and where is Timothy second?
Second on the odds. Yeah, 3-1 for Chalamet. Brody is 1.41 times.
Where's Ralph in that one there, Jesse?
Yeah, where's
Ralph is third best odds, but it drops off quite a bit. He's 15-1. So not great odds.
You could win big.
It's a 2-horse race, but outside odds to Steve.
For actress in a leading role, our favorite, Cynthia Erivo, Wicked. Carlos Sofia Gascon for Amelia Perez. Mikey Madison for Honora, which I haven't seen yet, but I've heard is very good. Demi Moore in The Substance, a movie that my wife saw and said was incredible. And Fernanda Torres in I'm Still Here.
I hated the end of The Substance.
Really?
Yeah, that's a bit of a spoiler. Sorry. I didn't like the ending.
My pick is Holding Space. I think Holding Space is going to win Best Actress.
I also picked Holding Space.
Actually,
I want her to win.
So Cynthia Erivo has the worst odds to win this award.
Kidding.
34-1.
Now, Demi Moore said that when she picked up an award a couple awards shows ago and said, this is the first award I have won in 29 years in Hollywood.
This is, I think, it's going to go to Demi Moore. Like, I don't even think it's going to go to her because this is the Lifetime Achievement Award. This is the you've earned this.
This is The Revenant.
Plus, her performance in The Substance was fantastic. She deserves it for this.
Is she the odds-on favorite?
She is the favorite, and it's like not even close. 1.35 times your money. I think Demi Moore is walking
I think
away
Holding
with this.
Space is going to be holding an Oscar.
Actor in a supporting role, Yura Borisov in Honora, Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain. Apparently he was great in that. Ed Norton in A Complete Unknown. Ed Norton's good in everything. Guy Pearce, The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice. Jeremy Strong obviously was Kendall Roy.
Yes.
So he's perfect in a drama like that. I'm gonna go Kieran Culkin, actually. I think that this is I think that he and Jesse Eisenberg are spectacular in that role. So I'm going Kieran Culkin.
I watched A Real Pain a couple weekends ago. Fantastic movie. Highly recommended. Kieran Culkin's very good in it. He is the odds-on favorite to win. It's not even close. 1.02 times your money, and both Steve and Adam have Kieran Culkin.
I put Home Alone.
Steve wrote Home Alone.
Actress in a supporting role, Monica Barbero in A Complete Unknown. She has really taken off for that role. Ariana Grande in Wicked. Good for Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
Felicity Jones, Star Wars, in The Brutalist. She plays Adrian Brody's wife, I believe. Isabella Rossellini in Conclave, the Ralph movie.
Yeah,
That's
Ralph.
the Ralph movie.
Yeah.
And Zoe Saldana in Amelia Perez, which is a movie that has fallen off since those tweets were
So
revealed.
much controversy.
But it doesn't mean that Zoe didn't do a great job, even though I have real questions about the singing in that movie and how bad those songs are. Steve, who do you pick for Best Supporting Actress?
Pick Ariana.
You know what?
You got to go Ariana.
I'm going to put What Are You Doing Here?
Is that Ariana?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay, I'm picking Felicity Jones
Hey.
because I like the Brutalist thing, and I still haven't seen the movie, and I also like Star Wars, and I like Felicity Jones. She's cool.
According to the odds makers, Zoe Saldana is going to win. It's 1.03 times your money, so you're not even making money. You're barely making pennies on your bet there.
Wow.
So yeah, they don't think it's going to be a tight race at all. But 9-1. Ariana Grande, second favorite.
I'm going to try to find best song here. Best original song. Here we go. Okay.
Yep.
Probably it's unlikely that you've heard any of these songs. Unless you were watching TikTok and they come up. But
Not like us.
El Mal, which is from Amelia Perez.
Yeah.
The Journey from 666 a movie I've not even heard of.
No, me neither.
Like a Bird, not Nelly Furtado. It's from Sing Sing. Mi Camino from Amelia Perez. And Never Too Late from Elton John. Mm-hmm. Never Too Late, which is I guess, a movie.
Elton John movie, apparently.
So I'm going to go with one of the ones from Amelia Perez because they got to win something. They're not going to win Best Picture. So I'm going to go El Mal.
I put Amelia the first one.
Oh, you also went with
which
El
I
Mal.
think is
El Mal.
El Mal.
Yeah. That song is the favorite to win. 1.4 times your money. 4-1 The Journey in the 688. Second favorite. And lastly, Best Picture.
Okay, so we've
Toy
got
Story
a lot
2.
of nominees in this category because remember, they go beyond 5.
Yeah. Okay.
A Nora movie that keeps coming up. The Brutalist. A Complete Unknown. Conclave. Dune Part 2. Amelia Perez. I'm Still Here. Nickel Boys. The Substance, and Wicked.
I put Brutal. Because that's how I'm about to perform.
Yeah. I'm saying Dune Part 2. Because it was the best movie I saw this year.
That'd be cool.
I flippin' love that movie, and science fiction never gets nominated, so go Dune Part 2. Yeah.
All
Jesse,
right.
Now, what? Give us the odds on these.
Nora is the favorite, then Conclave, then The Brutalist, then A Complete Unknown, which is 51-1. So it's, according to the odds makers, we got a 3-horse race: Nora, Conclave, or The Brutalist, and then all of the other ones are 50+ to win. So we will see. The Dune Part 2 is 101-1.
I like my odds. Hey,
$1 nets you $100.
that's pretty sweet. You should go for it. You try.
Imagine what $2 gets you.
It's for sure not gonna.
Who knows? Who knows?
Anyway, those are our predictions. They are completely uneducated and should only be used for comedy purposes. But you can check this all out at betmgm.com/dangle. Betmgm.com for terms and conditions. Must be 19 years of age or older to wager. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you have any questions or concerns about your gambling or someone close to you, please contact Connects Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with iGaming Ontario, and we will have the results of Steve and I's terrible odyssey through the Oscars on Monday. Two names I do want to bring up are Yanni Gourde and Brandon Tanev. As of this morning, like a couple of minutes ago, Pierre LeBrun tweeted that Brandon Tanev is obviously drawing some interest from teams. He has a modified no trade, which means he wants to go to an upper echelon contender. And then he said, obviously, July 1st could be a different story as far as looking at potential fits. Ottawa as a possible example, because Ottawa is in love with the Tanev brothers. I think Brandon Tanev to Toronto makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, no, they should sign one of them. They love him so much.
Yeah, but if you have Yanni Gourde back-ish, he's going to play next week. We don't know where he's going to be at. This is a guy who is a playoff animal. Mm-hmm. So let's say you get the Braden Schenn deal done. What's to stop you from
Also doing Yanni Gourde?
also doing Yanni Gourde?
Well, and then Minton's 100% gone.
That's interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Yanni Gourde coming off an injury, who is on track he might play 45 games this year. He had 33 points last year. I don't think he cost you Fraser Minton.
He's expensive. Like $5 million for
Expiring deal.
Expiring.
Oh, okay.
He's expensive and a rental, right? And both of them are. Like Tanev and Gourde are rentals.
Seattle would retain.
You think so? Yeah. On that
Expiring
5?
deal?
Okay.
Yeah,
I think that's an easy conversation.
Yeah. He's also just not as good. Like, I don't feel it's as much of an upgrade. Like, if we're talking about Brock Nelson or Braden Schenn, like, Gourde's not in that conversation.
No, but it could give you a third line with purpose, right? Because,
imagine you've got Schenn, Yarncroc, or Schenn, McMahon, Gourde.
I mean,
And if one of your centers gets injured, guess who slots in?
McMahon goes up.
Okay.
To me, and so you could have Tanev. Like I'm doing Gordon Tanev without Schenn, right? So you have McMahon, Tavares, Nylander, Nyes, Matthews, Marner. Mix them up however you want. That's your top 6. Then you have a third line that is Brandon Tanev, Yanni Gourde, probably Calle Yarncroc. And then I don't know where Max Domi fits into that.
Well, I don't see Brandon Tanev as to me, he's a fourth liner, and that's where he should play. And you have him.
Shit, I'll take that.
Yeah, so you have him and Lorentz and Pontus Holmberg. I don't know. Like, who do you have?
That slaps.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd rather
absolutely. Or Dewar.
devote your attention to getting a defenseman over a winger. Like I feel like the
I
priority
get
should
that.
be center defense. Then like if you have extra capital, get a winger. But like I don't care for Tanev.
I'm deluding myself into thinking Tanev can be done cheap, and
Right.
he probably can't.
I don't care to acquire Tanev for the Leafs.
I think they get him at least. I do think they're going to make a hard charge for him this summer.
Yeah, Yanni Gourde as your first
Summer's different.
center. I'm gonna pass out.
But
I could do that.
The other thing I want to say is that I'm looking at. First off, Ryan Reeves is going to play tonight against the Rangers. First game in 24 days.
Just saw that.
Oh wow.
The second thing I want to say, so that's
Who's
interesting.
coming out?
I don't know. It looks like Alex Steves actually,
Oh okay.
because he came in, he scored a goal, everybody freaked out.
Guess who the Rangers have?
Rempe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So then Myers is in for Tanev. By the way, Tanev's day to day. He's not week to week. Thank God.
Reeves owes Rempe.
Yeah.
Reeves fought him in Toronto. This game's in Madison Square Garden. You owe me.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna
the monster.
They're
Now
gonna fight.
on the defensive side, okay.
Yeah.
Because I think if the Leafs do something, it could happen this weekend. I have this feeling that why wouldn't they try to get one of the things done this weekend and get the other thing done on trade deadline?
There have been so many Friday trades.
What is, gentlemen? Well, there are going to be so many Friday trades next Friday during the
Yes.
SDPN trade deadline special.
Makes sense.
I want to know what is the defenseman they're looking for? I know when we're talking about centers, well, the knock against Braden Schenn is he shoots left and they don't have any right shot centermen. I'm like, I don't care. Whatever. What that you're getting too into it. But right shot and left shot D, I'll listen to that all day.
That matters more.
What are they looking for? What do they want?
Here, Adam, watch this. Okay, watch where my left hand is going. Mm-hmm. Okay, now watch where my right hand is going.
Okay. Looks like you shall not pass.
And then I turn it this way. Yeah, that's what they're looking
Looking for a right shot D.
Yeah. That's I think they're looking
Holden
for a right
Parayko.
shot D
No, I'm
with
kidding.
size. Oh, I mean Parayko fits that mold. Why stop there? Kelmakar. Why not? Why stop there, there's not a ton of those available.
Mm-hmm.
You got me thinking about Seattle, and Adam Larson's been in those rumors for so long. Is he hurt?
I can
He's
look.
hurt. I
look
don't
that
know,
up.
because that's a move I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, you're talking about Seattle. Jamie Oleksiak shoots left.
No, Adam Larson's played 60 games this year.
Oh, well, there you go.
So you can't get Oleksiak.
I don't know if you want Oleksiak.
I'm
I'm not convinced on Oleksiak.
I tried watching Connor Murphy really hard, that Blackhawks game the other day, and the whole time I was just like, man, this team's really bad.
No, did you see TJ Brody get absolutely torched off the face-off? Man, that guy, I think...
I feel bad. I feel terrible.
I feel bad, but non-option.
Murphy, players on teams that bad are difficult to evaluate.
Simon Benoit
Well,
on the Ducks.
because they might go to a better team and perform better, or they, might have their responsibilities diminished on a new team and stink.
Yep.
Right? Are we just resigned to Yanni Hakanpää's not playing?
I would think so, but I don't know, Jesse. What do we think?
I don't know about Hakanpää.
Has he been skating? Have you seen him?
And I haven't seen him, but I haven't seen the Leafs practice in a month. Well, one time because in this entire month because they've been away, and then there's been two home games in February. It's been tough. But I don't know about Hakanpää. I don't even know if the Leafs know, because he was projected to play at the Four Nations. He was assigned
so
to the
long.
team, and then last minute they pull him. So I don't even know if the Leafs know about Hakanpää. You got to move forward like he's not playing this season. And if we're talking about the right-handed D they should get, I mentioned this last episode. My boy is David Savard. I think he'd be perfect. I think they should get him. I think the list of names is light, and he is one of them that I think the Leafs should acquire.
To reinforce Jesse's point, here's how light the list is. CJ's trade board 6.0 is up. Here are the first
6.0.
Here are the first. He's got 6.0.
Wow.
Yeah, he's Here are the first 3 defense names. Carson Soucy, $3.25 million shoots left, but he's 6'5" every time.
He's all right.
I mean, he's fine in a bottom line role, but I feel like they've got that. Rasmus Ristolainen, who Kevin Kerr's confirmed.
Let's establish something before you get through the rest of the list. I love Simone Benoit. I would like an upgrade.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so I would. Yeah, if you can replace Benoit, oh no.
Yeah, Rasmus Ristolainen, who Kevin Kerr's, who's the athletic reporter for Philly, said nobody's calling.
No.
Bo Byram, which 23 shoots left, would be great. Makes 3.85.
Oh, I forgot the stupid factor. Yeah, no, I'd take it.
But here's the thing. Apparently,
he was really good in the playoffs.
I know
for Colorado.
The Leafs must have called about Dylan Cousins. Most teams must have called. If a 23-year-old center who's under contract becomes available, you call. My assumption is whatever the Leafs have, the Sabres don't want. Like that, right? Like if the Leafs are a team looking for a center.
I still completely do not understand the saga.
But don't you think?
Oh, 100%.
So whatever the Leafs have, we can assume the Sabres are not interested.
Yeah.
Okay. So Bo Byram will strike from the list. Seth Jones, I think we all know.
He makes $9 million.
Also Dallas. David Savard is next on the list. Jesse, he's number 12 on the trade board.
Let's go.
Right shot, $3.5 million. He will be up at the end of this contract. Now, last year, if you wanted to get David Savard at the deadline, David Savard would have cost you a first-round pick. I don't think that that's going to be what it is this year.
Second in the league in block shots per 60. Third in the league is Chris Tanev.
Yeah.
Unreal.
You could have the two of the top 3 block shot guys in the league.
Yeah, so that second the Leafs have this year and the third.
Yeah.
If you can get it done somewhere in that
Just
neighborhood.
for that.
But if it's the Habs, they're not going to make it easy on you.
I don't think they should make it easy on anybody.
No, of course
Because remember, David Savard wants to be a Hab. Right? Like he's
Shouldn't
the guy
that
that loves to
disqualify
be
him?
there.
Shouldn't that disqualify him?
Sign there in the offseason then. You know? I just want you from now through the playoffs.
Shouldn't that... I just... people
like
have
a
been
tree
trying
trunk.
to sell me on Jake Evans for months, and I'm
No.
like, guys, he's a Hab.
Yeah.
They're going to fleece the Leafs.
Evans and Armia apparently are available off the Habs roster too. I haven't heard a lot about Savard, but
I know.
Evans and Armia, like penalty killers. Apparently, one of the teams interested in Armia is Winnipeg, which is hilarious because that's where he was drafted.
Was he?
Armia, yeah, he was a Winnipeg Jet for a while. I think he was pretty highly touted until what was the trade? It wasn't Monahan between Montreal and Winnipeg, but there was some sort of trade. And it was back in the Bergevin.
Evander Kane?
No, Winnipeg, Montreal.
No, Winnipeg. I think he went to Buffalo first.
Did he? Oh, okay. Well, anyway,
I don't remember.
What number on the board was Savard?
Number 12 overall.
Oh,
but like fifth defenseman, I think.
All right.
And then the next one is Jamie Alexiak, who is a left shot guy, $4.6 million. Again, he is so Jamie Alexiak's interesting because he's 6'7".
Yeah, not a rental.
Not a rental.
Yeah.
He will be. He's got another year left on that deal. I just don't know, like...
Not very good.
Yeah, that's my thing. Even when he signed that contract, I was like, that guy? No offense, but really?
By the way, I was right. It was the Evander Kane trade.
It was the Evander Kane. There you go. Connor Murphy is next on that list. 6'4", right shot. Another year left on the deal at $4.4 million. Steve, you're starting to... Whoa!
Beef!
You're starting to...
Beef!
Is he big?
Beef.
Is he beefy? Is he like, because David Savard's beefy. To me, he's built like a willow.
Beef.
Yeah?
But a willow? That's where you went?
Like the willow, the big thick
Willow
trees.
Smith?
Not Willow Smith. She's not built like a willow tree. I'm talking about the big willow, the ones that you see.
He whips his
like-
hair back and
The
forth.
Whomping Willow?
Yes.
Oh no, the one from that really famous mission, Red Dead Redemption, where you're walking down the thing and you're burning down the house and everything.
Braithwaite Manor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Fuck
Love that.
clowns.
After that mission, it kind of does. There's like a little bit of a letdown. It's so exciting.
Oh, Adam, spoiler alert. The game's only 7 years old.
Ivan Provorov is also available. I don't think the
No.
Leafs are interested. Mario Ferraro, left shot, 26 years old, got another year left.
You know what sucks? I looked at the Sharks to be like, who do they got on the right side? Their highest paid right-handed defenseman.
Liljegren.
Liljegren.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think they're doing it.
Brian Dumoulin is apparently available from the Ducks as a rental.
He's lefty, isn't he?
He is lefty.
Damn it. Why are they all lefty?
Ryan Lindgren from the Rangers, who had great years and has not had a great year.
No, he has not.
So, yeah, those are kind of the names that CJ's got out there. Interesting, too, by the way. Jake Evans' name is out there, like you said, Steve. And Justin Brazeau and Trent Frederick.
Beef! Double the beef! Yeah!
I wanted to tell you guys that Brock Nelson obviously has been one of my favorites, and I really hope the Leafs land him, but they're not connected to him at all. And Pierre LeBrun called Lou Lamoriello and said, hey, so knowing what Lou would say, he's like, so, like, what do you got to say about Brock Nelson and his potential availability? And he said, what I will say is Brock Nelson is a New York Islander and a very valuable member of the team.
How did you get this number?
Did you call on the red line or the blue line?
I forgot about that.
Apparently, he's the one who's holding up the trade deadline.
Yes.
Lou Lamoriello?
Yeah, LeBrun said he's kind of holding up a lot of things. There's so many teams looking for center help, but there's still no clear indication from the New York Islanders that Brock Nelson will actually be made available. So it seems like people are waiting to see if they can actually get Brock Nelson before making any other deals, and that's kind of why we're in a standstill here.
I hate that because there's 32 teams.
Yeah.
So there's his team. That leaves 31. And then there's your team if you're any other GM in the league. So that leaves 30 teams. What do you mean he's holding it up?
Well, it's like if you don't want to spend assets to go get Yanni Gourde or Braden Schenn when you could possibly spend those same assets and get Brock Nelson. So you don't want to miss out on the Brock Nelson sweepstakes if he does become available.
The Brock Nelson sweepstakes.
Okay, guys, name that
makes sense to me.
No, I know.
One name that doesn't make sense to me to be on this list,
Dylan Cousins,
but sure would make a lot of sense. Well, Dylan Cousins-esque, because he was a Sabre, is Casey Mittelstadt. 26 years old, not an unrestricted free agent until 2027. He makes $5.75 million. Obviously, I guess I would assume, again, that Toronto's doing their job and calling people, or maybe he's just not a fit for what they want to do. But I'm curious as to why the Avs would want to move on unless it was like a player for player.
Yeah, they're trying to get better. They're trying to upgrade that position, is my understanding.
Okay.
Like Mittelstadt hasn't been what they've expected so far, so they want to get better at 2C there.
Yeah, here, Adam, let me help you with that.
Give it to me.
So he scored yesterday. 2 days ago, sorry. In their last game. Before that, no points, no points, no points, no points, no points, and assist, no points, no points, and assist, no points, no points. 3-point performance with a goal. So he just scored his first goal since January 18th, over a month ago. That's why they want to trade him, because that's a lot of money to pay for a player who doesn't score at all. Now, Steve, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
Braden Schenn scores at roughly that pace. Yes, but Braden Schenn is Braden Schenn, and Casey Mittelstadt doesn't do the stuff that Braden Schenn does. That's why.
How do you feel about, I believe he's 6'6", or 6'5", Nick Bjugstad?
Oh, beef!
He's not beef, though. He's more like skinny tree. I don't think... Is Bjugstad like a monster?
I'm pretty sure he's dummy thick.
Is he thick?
Isn't he
Is he thick? Okay, maybe he is. I got to check.
Isn't he dummy thick?
Maybe. I can check. I can check his weight.
205.
205?
No, 205, and he's sick, like how tall?
He's
6'5", 205.
He's deceptive.
I wouldn't say that.
No.
Beef.
He's
not beef.
deceptive because he's got a big head. His big head made me think he's beef.
Yeah.
What do we think? I mean, Utah is fighting for a playoff spot. If you're Utah, is that a good message to your team or to your fans if he goes?
Are they fighting for a playoff spot? How close are they?
Well, they're below the Blues, so I would imagine no. But, you got to keep the hope alive.
Yeah.
I don't think they're fighting.
No, it's
for
just
playoffs.
good business. Right? Like,
They're not below the Blues.
Oh, they're not? Oh.
They have 63 points. Blues have 62.
Okay.
Vancouver's in that second wild card spot.
Still?
65
How
points.
are they in that spot?
Wow.
So, yeah, Blues are Blues. Utah's right there for a playoff spot, I guess.
oh, damn.
Yeah.
People are going to make so many rash decisions this week. Listen, you can trade off your roster and still make it. Is Bjugstad going to make or break Utah?
No, and if they want him back, they can sign him this summer.
See, they've played 60 games though. Oh boy, they're right in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
22 games left. 2 points out of a wild card spot.
I mean, if the Blues are trading, the Blues are 3 points out. But 3 points is a lot this time of year. That's a big spread.
even the Ducks aren't really out of it.
No, the Ducks are out of it.
Yeah, Ducks are out.
No, they got 2 games in hand on 2 of the teams ahead of them.
But they're the Ducks.
I know they're the Ducks.
What are you talking
They
about?
crushed the.
Let's end the playoff conversation at the Ducks.
I would do it after the Ducks because the Kraken have 54.
Can you
Kraken
stop it?
No, the
Can you
Kraken
stop
are
it?
no, the Kraken are
Can you
dead.
stop?
They're dead.
Look
Jesse,
at their,
you know what's going to happen after this conversation, right? The Ducks are going to go on a stupid run,
I hope
and then
they
everybody's
do.
going to be like, "Oh, Steve
yeah, but
Dangle,
then they're
Ducks
still going to
loser."
miss the playoff.
Yeah,
You know who goes on runs all the time? Every team.
yeah, true.
Like, true.
Why is the camera on me? I'm right. Put it on Jesse. He's wrong. There you go. Wrong.
No, Ducks are playoff team. Yeah. No, we all believe that, Steve.
They're in it.
We all believe.
Don't make me be a quack truther. Or a truther quack. Hey, listen. I was going to say I kind of see a few of those Western teams as like dark horse sellers. I'd take Utah out of that equation. Seattle, on the other hand, I think yum yum.
So you don't
I'll
think
pick at that
Bjugstad
carcass.
goes?
I think he could go.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could go for cheap. Like, I just don't think he's a major upgrade for anybody, and he's not a major loss for Utah either. So, like, it might just be smart business for them to do that.
He's up at the end of the year, right?
Yes,
assume so.
yes, he is. Yeah, Bjugstad is up.
He's had a long NHL career.
Yes, and productive. It's just most of it was with the Coyotes, so that's a
He
shame.
scored 22 goals last year.
Yep.
Damn. Yeah, but that was his first in, like, what?
A while.
Yeah.
Another name that I thought here's it's a weird one. It's a weird one, but it's a Ducks one, and he's slightly overpaid, I think. But again, it's hard to know on the Ducks because it's the Ducks. Mm-hmm. Right shot centerman, 31 years old, pretty good offense. Not a great face-off guy though. Ryan Strome. His defense stinks, but no.
We got Max Domi, man.
Yeah, okay. All right. And Max Domi's cheaper for us.
I don't need right-handed, more expensive Max Domi.
Okay. All right.
When he signed there, I was like, why? How come? I feel like he was cashing in on a pretty good season.
I think he was.
And I was like, the Ducks? Okay. Like the Ducks when he signed there.
Yes.
Now, go ahead and sign with the Ducks. I'm sure you'll have fun.
Okay.
A few years ago? Why'd you do that to yourself?
One name I hope the Leafs could take a flyer on, but any team going to the playoffs should take a flyer on this guy just because of the way he played last year in the playoffs is Michael McCarron. I know that he's not like the sexiest name on the board. Listen to these stats.
Adam.
6'6",
Beef!
232 pounds. That's why I was holding off on the beef thing so I could give you. Those are the stats that matter. Justin Brazeau also available.
Angus.
Yep. Anyway,
Wait, who?
Brazeau.
Beef! I'd be. Wait, who does McCarron play for?
He plays for the Nashville Predators.
Oh, still?
Yep.
Beef. Yeah, no, I'd do it.
Now, I want to read you. I'm going to switch gears here for a second. We talked a little bit about how Matt Rempe has more goals than Elias Pettersson.
Who?
Matt Rempe
Beef!
has more goals than Elias Pettersson since
Matt Rempe's not beef.
the turn of the year.
He's just tall.
Tall.
There you go.
Giraffe! Yeah, it's not as fun to yell.
Wyatt Arndt tweeted this yesterday. The last time Elias Pettersson got more than one shot in a game?
When?
5 games ago.
Jan 31st.
Fuck!
Wow.
7 games since then. He had 0 shots last night.
I don't remember him taking a shot on goal at the Four Nations.
0 shots last night. Top line center.
What happened?
There's something really wrong here.
What on earth happened?
And the Canucks lost 5-2 to the Ducks. It is worth mentioning that Artur Silovs is now 1-6-1 this year.
What was the date you said?
According to Wyatt, it was Jan 31st.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's it's the last day of February, eh? Oh shit. Leafs lost both games of that damn team.
I know, isn't that
I just
annoying?
want to point that out.
Isn't that freaking annoying? Yeah.
How are they in a playoff spot?
How? I don't know.
The bottom of the West isn't very good. Like, nobody's taking... That's why the Ducks are moving up the standings, because they're 7-2-1, and everybody around them is just kind of floundering. Calgary 5-4-1 in their last 10. Every opportunity to sneak into a playoff spot, can't do it.
Jesse, who's the one hot team in there?
Well, the Utah Hockey Club have won 3 in a row.
Whoa!
The St. Louis
So the
Blues have
Blues.
also won 3 in a row. The Ducks are 7-2-1 in their last 10. I just said that. And that's why they've kind of climbed up.
They got 2 goalies in the 9-15 range
Very
in
good
save
goaltending.
percentage.
No.
Yeah. Why move on from them? I don't. The question now with John Gibson is why trade him?
Oh my goodness. Well, because I guess you got Ghostal, but like you have 2 goalies.
Yeah, do what the Bruins did.
A lot of teams don't have one.
Yeah, keep them.
Look at the team right underneath you. Seattle. They would be in a playoff spot.
The Oilers management group telling the insiders, which is what they're doing, that they don't see a legitimate upgrade over Stuart Skinner, and is such a red herring for me, because you're not looking to upgrade from Stuart Skinner. You're looking to upgrade from Calvin Pickard. And I know Calvin Pickard came in and won games for them in the playoffs last year. I remember the series. I know. But if you're telling me that the best you can do is 8.96 Stuart Skinner and 8.96 Calvin Pickard, last time I checked for save percentage, then I think that I don't know what I think. Like, I think that you need eyes. I think that, like, are you telling me John Gibson wouldn't be an upgrade for these guys? Come on now. Come on now.
I still think the move you saw enough out of Skinner in the playoffs that to me the move is on D.
And what happens if Skinner gets injured?
Well,
that's why I say it's not an upgrade on Skinner. It's an upgrade on Pickard.
Yeah, but
you're telling me you can't find an upgrade on Pickard?
Gibson
Then you're
makes
not doing your job.
He makes so much, man.
Oh, that's crazy. Wow. Oh, man. You know what's crazy next year? The salary cap's going up. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean this year. Their time to win the cup is this year, right now.
Yeah.
Right.
And next. Because, hey, guess what? You know who's a free agent in 2026?
Me.
Connor McDavid. Oh. Not you.
Can I have his money?
I want to go back to Vancouver for a sec, though.
Can I say one thing about Seattle?
Yeah, give it.
Joey Decord has picked up 43 of Seattle's points this season. All other goalies combined, all of them being Philip Grubauer, by the way, 11.
Yeah, he's bad. We've had that conversation for sure.
Dude, you double that, which would still give him a below 500 record probably.
Yep.
You're in the playoffs, pretty sure, or at very least in the conversation.
One guy I'm shocked is not on the trade board right now is Brock Besser. 73 points last year. He was an animal in the playoffs. I think there's a good chance Vancouver wins Game 7 of the second round if he's playing. And
oh man!
And apparently the difference is like Vancouver's willing to go 5 years. Besser wants 6 to 7. And I'm wondering if his name appears at the very top of the trade board real soon. Because if they can't get this done by the deadline, Vancouver's got to really sort of check itself here. They've lost a lot of talent over the last couple of years. You know, they've got some back, but they've lost a lot of talent. And there's no guarantees Pettersson's coming back to being the player he ever was. You just don't know.
I think.
Do you move Besser now and get something back and start the retool?
The Canucks could do something reminiscent of what the Rangers did years ago right now.
Quick retool?
Not necessarily quick. I mean, the monkey wrench is Pettersson. Never has a player this expensive been this bad out of nowhere. And this, like, malcontent.
Yeah.
Like, when Huberdeau was really struggling his first year in Calgary, there was still an air of, guys, I'm trying. I promise I'm trying. And then, you know, he figured it out a little bit, a little chemistry here, a little chemistry there. Would I pay him 10.5? I don't know, but he's doing pretty well. Along the lines of, like, Pierre-Luc Dubois. I don't know if he's playing like an $8 million defenseman in Washington, but he's doing well, and they're winning games. Scored last night. Very important, you know. Ooh. Are you... If the Canucks stay in the second wild card spot, who are they playing?
The Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg is going to cross 100 points in the next couple of weeks here. They're at 87.
I do not envy Patrick Allvin and Jim Rutherford at all. What do you...
Because here's the thing, too.
They're the most difficult team to evaluate in the NHL, I think.
You might lose your head coach this summer, too. Just throwing that out there. He's a free...
Who is a more confusing team in the NHL right now?
Buffalo.
No, they're very easy. They're
Nashville.
Bad. They're bad. No, they're bad.
But confusing bad, though. They haven't lost that much off their roster from last year, and yet here they are.
Yeah, but they also don't have centers, and their goaltending got worse.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
The Canucks are the most... I don't know how on earth you evaluate that roster, their season, their anything. I would try to keep Brock Besser. Like, there are some players where it's like, yeah, no, get what you can. And there's players like Besser where I think you're going to be spending years trying to find anyone who's as much of a laser beam as that guy. Oh, man. What a monkey wrench that would be, eh? Just throwing him in there, but they're in a spot. They're in a playoff spot. So you're saying to your fans, lost season, you're saying to your owner, no playoff revenue.
Mm-hmm. And you're in a wild card spot right now.
Golly. I think you try to keep him. I think you have
Jess, how many years do you do with Brock Besser?
With Brock Besser, I think the move is to keep him. I would do. What is he looking for? They say
Contract.
So he is 28. So this is the cash in deal.
Yeah.
If Brock Besser is looking for $8 million, let's say this is a guy who's got 36 and 52 this year. He had 73 last year and 81, including 40 goals. And in the playoffs last year, he gave you 12 points in 12 games. Has trouble sometimes staying healthy, but he's been relatively healthy recently, last 3-4 years. Is what's an $8 million player now? Right?
I think if you can't get a deal done with Brock Besser by the trade deadline, you have to move him. I think the Vancouver Canucks are not in a position where they just let him walk to free agency and just lose him for nothing.
Speaking of players that are difficult to evaluate.
They can't just be losing assets here. They're not. No, they can't do that. And with Pettersson, for me, I'm shutting down Pettersson because it looks like it's his knee that's bothering him. Mm-hmm. If you remember last playoffs, at the end of the playoffs, he said he had a nagging knee injury that hampered him since January. And the Daily Hive out in Vancouver did a little background work on this as well. They had a screenshot of the Four Nations behind the scenes stuff that Sportsnet had, and they caught him in the locker room tending to his knee, throwing an ice pack on it. So it's clearly still hampering him, and it's hurting his play enough that he's not who he is, you know? Mm-hmm. And I think if he's been dealing with it since last January, and then he came to training camp and he said he had to train around his knee, and then now he's lost all of his speed and he won't shoot the puck and his skating looks bad. He's clearly injured, and I get you're in a playoff spot and you want your guys to fight through what you're doing so that you can make the playoffs, right? But that's not helping your team at this point. It's not helping Pettersson's career by having him on the ice. So I would shut down Pettersson, sign Brock Besser, or trade him. It's either you get this deal done by the deadline or you trade him, because if you don't get this deal done, he walks. That's such a blunder on the franchise. So those are the two things I would do if I'm the Canucks, because they stink right now.
You do have the option to trade Besser and
re-sign him.
And then make another trade.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
That could be the good business, right? Colorado loses Rantanen, and we're all like, you idiots. And they get Nietzsche's, who has been better so far.
Man, has he been good.
He's been so good, and he's also signed to next year. Mm-hmm. It's $6.5 million, which is robbery. There's a possibility the Canucks come out of this deadline minus Besser and better. but they got to be real creative.
Adam and Steve, do you trust Jim Rutherford in his handling of this franchise since he's become president of the Vancouver Canucks?
Every time we've doubted him, we've been burned for it.
Yeah. I think others can doubt him, but Adam and I lost our privileges a long time ago.
With the Pittsburgh Penguins. And frankly, last year, going to last season, I was like, this team is so talented and they've never put it together, so why would they do it now? Wow. Fast forward, they win the division and go to the second round. Game 7 against the Oilers. I think they won the division.
For years, I don't
Pretty
remember.
sure. But anyway.
For years, the Canucks have been underachieving what I expected. And when they struggled, I didn't get it. And then last year happened. And it was very validating for me. And then this year happened. And like I just have such a hard time punting on them. Because they have what a lot of teams in this league don't have.
Yep.
Talent.
Yep.
They have goaltending.
Mm-hmm.
They have arguably the best defenseman in the world.
If you go look at the 2020 or 2021 Flames or Canucks, to me it's the same thing. Wow, that roster is loaded with so much talent. How did they not put it together? Like, go look at the
Jake Markstrom.
Go look
next.
at the 2023. Yeah. Was he having a good Jake year or a bad Jake year?
He was having a bad Jake year.
Yeah.
Well, a bad Jake playoff for sure.
If you look at the Flames and you look at those Canucks teams, man, they were stacked with good young pieces. Forward defense and goaltending. It's crazy. Yeah. Anyway, I want to move on. I'm going to move on.
Don't.
Because I want to talk about the Edmonton Oilers. And McDavid is minus 12 in his last 5 games. The Oilers have lost 5 regulation games in a row. We talked about their goaltending.
That's a psycho stat. Minus 12 in 5 games is like hard.
Let me give you this too. Their goals for per game is 2.8, so roughly 3.
Not good enough.
Goals against per game, what do you think it is?
3.75.
In the last game. 5.2.
Per game?
Per game. Team save percentage in the last 5 is 8.57.
I'm surprised it's that high.
Their penalty kill is 72.2% in the last 5.
So just nothing's going right.
Knobloch called them a fragile group.
Ooh.
I think Jeff Skinner's getting moved at the deadline, by the way, to a non-contender, and I think they're going to, whatever deal the Oilers do make, that Skinner money's going off the book.
Yeah, no, they need to make a move to make a move. What? There was something very interesting I saw with Evander Kane, where I want to say he has a full no trade or something, but it turns into a partial no trade today.
I didn't know you could do that.
I've never heard of that in my life.
And Jesse mentioned that they might want to move that money depending upon whether he comes back or not.
Yeah. I alluded to that trade clause last episode because it makes sense if he's coming back before the playoffs, if the injury is like, oh, I can play like a couple weeks from now, to move him and then free up that money. I think that's or you just want to use him and keep him there, or if he's not available to the playoffs, then you just keep him to the playoffs, free player. But if now he's going to come back, you might want to move him between now the point where his trade clause is moved and the trade deadline, so that you can use that money in different ways if you don't want Evander Kane.
Wow.
Ooh.
This guy, oh man, I don't think we're thinking about this deadline properly.
What do you think?
Like CJ's trade board.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think we're gonna get some out of left field. Like Evander Kane's been such a non-entity this season. Oh man, we're gonna get some insane ones. The Oilers, not to sidetrack myself too much,
are trading McDavid.
Well, there's yes. First of all, they're trading McDavid. Second of all, there are so few teams in the NHL that you should just give a carte blanche benefit of the doubt to. Mm-hmm. They're one of them. Like, yeah, okay, you lost 5 straight. I don't care. I think you're a cup contender.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I bet McDavid's not the best player in the world anymore. Just like that, after scoring the OT winner, 4-nation faceoff. Like, I bet he's bum. No. They have some moves to make. I think they got to shuffle some money around. Mm-hmm. I think Jeff Jackson's pretty well connected. I know he's not the GM anymore, but let's be honest. that team, maybe more than any, needs to be super active at this deadline. You got the Capitals, who are like I'm looking at like the powerhouses of the league, Capitals and Jets, and like I just don't think they should screw with what they got too much. The Oilers, no, mad scientists, screw with it a lot. Like, it's so rare. We talked about this all playoff long. It's so rare that a team is this good and this flawed at the same time. They're so clearly like a top 5 team in the world, and their decor is probably bottom half.
Yeah. And now it's like it's bled into the forward group too, because Spector was writing about how
Their depth sucks.
About Knobloch, and he called them a bunch of guys out there as passengers out there because they're just kind of hanging out. They're not really doing anything. I don't know if you want to play that audio too. But
Happy to.
And he called out specifically Janmark, Brown, and Henrique, their third line, which has been horrendous for them recently, and Evan Bouchard as well, which is the decor there.
No.
So I don't think that surprises you or anybody around. No. But that's who Spector probably, he alludes to, like, those are probably the guys who are the passengers right now. And it's Bouchard. Like, there's great examples of every time there's a tough defensive play to make, he's kind of standing around on the ice, and that's Evan Bouchard's MO. And it's not good enough when you're trying to win the Stanley Cup.
The numbers with Bouchard are enraging. Like, just because, like, I know his numbers are generally good things are happening for the Oilers when he's on the ice. Mm-hmm. But there are so many times where, like, he's not even bending his damn knees.
Yeah.
He's not even sort of trying to make a defensive play or even capable of it.
And all it is, really, that's effort. That's a mentality thing.
Yeah.
I know he doesn't have to be the best defensive defenseman in the NHL because we love him first, but just play adequate defense, neutral defense. Be in position. Not hard. With his wheels, he can do that.
Pass it to Connor or Leon, seal off the board. All right, good job, Evan. Like,
they're not asking much.
Oh, man.
Do you want a little from Knobloch?
Yes.
Because he's usually a mild-mannered guy, so for him to call people passengers is pretty interesting.
Not maybe a better result, but did you feel like that was maybe the best game of the road tripper since the break, the way the team played as hard as they did?
Oh, absolutely. That was by far our best effort. I think the guys competed really hard against the walls around the nets, and I thought we had some pretty good performance by some guys, but to get out of a funk like this, when things aren't going well and guys are really feeling it or really squeezing their sticks, we need everybody. And I felt that there was a few passengers. There were some guys that just didn't put in the effort that we needed, but for the most part, I think most of the guys did pretty much everything they could.
So I love hearing it because you hear that pause. Mm-hmm. He knows this isn't a loss, and he's praising the team for their effort. He's trying to hype up the guys. But he has this long pause where he says, I need to say something here and criticize my team. What language am I going to use that's going to get them going? That's not going to be too harsh, but I need to send some sort of message. And he goes, few passengers.
I'm going to ask a stupid question. How do we know this is the Janmark line that he's talking about?
No, so this was what he said, and then Spector talked about guys who were passengers last night. He talked about the Janmark, the third line that's been very negative on the ice, and then he goes into a thing about Bouchard.
See, I'm very surprised by that because last year, remember, the Oilers started awful, and we were all sickos watching them lose to the Sharks and just watching their season get worse and worse. Supposedly part of what turned their season around, obviously they fired the coach, but Matthias Janmark stood up in front of the group and called them out for their effort. And they called the rest of the season Hockey the Janitor Way because that's his nickname, which is pretty creative for a hockey nickname. You got to be honest. You got to give him credit where credit's due. So for him to be a passenger, especially at this point in the season, is surprising. I think very surprising.
That was then, and during this 5-game losing streak, the third line hasn't been productive. I think that's the reality of how they're playing right now is they're not very good. And the spotlight was on Evan Bouchard and his play, especially. Like, I think that was the main passenger comment, and that's who it was probably directed at.
Let me throw something out there that I think can make some sense. Listen, the Blackhawks stink, and I don't think they're going to have any problems stinking. Oilers need some help. Is there a deal where the Oilers could send Jeff Skinner and a sweetener package to the Blackhawks, and the Blackhawks get to play Jeff Skinner with Connor Bedard,
Which might be fun.
for the rest of the season, which might be fun.
Jeff Skinner doesn't get to go to the playoffs again, though.
Okay,
He's
well,
never played in the playoffs.
You have to earn it. You have to earn it. He had every opportunity to be a key part of this Oilers team, and he's not.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Like,
Yikes.
what is this, fantasy camp?
Yeah.
The Oilers are not there to make Jeff Skinner's dreams come true, right? You should have earned it.
He gets traded to a non-playoff team. That is going to be bonkers, though. You have to admit.
Oh, I feel bad for the guy. Got to earn it.
Jesse, what do you have?
Steve, can we get your live reaction to Evan Bouchard's play on the Florida Panthers 3-2 goal?
Okay.
So we can't put it up on the screen because I want to play it in full speed,
Yeah.
and then we can do stop by pause and play if we really want.
The first still is him standing completely upright.
And Adam, I'll need your attention as well.
I've got it.
All right,
You got it.
You ready?
Yeah.
So this is the goal. Here's your reaction. 8:53 left in the third period. It's 2-2. Florida's
Tie game.
entering the zone. There's Evan Bouchard.
You are hopeless.
Look at this little whack. Did you see that
You
little?
are hopeless.
So
Holy shit.
It's like almost immediate.
He
Jess.
is one of the most shocking players
I'm
in the NHL.
so happy. I'm so happy.
Like, it's immediate. Okay, Jess, can you just freeze frame
Yes.
one and then just so everybody can see this?
Yeah.
This is okay. So first off,
That's just not vaguely giving a fuck.
so right there we're already like Evan, bend over a little. Right, the game's tied. It's the third period. Evan, Florida's outplaying you. Okay, then go like a second ahead or even half a second.
Sure.
So now it becomes Evan's guy, right? Because he's going in after this.
Oh, yeah.
right.
No. I think he's supposed to be doing something. Anything.
Well, you could double down on that player. Look, we
Whoa!
got a bend
One
knee.
leg bent.
All right,
Let's go.
Okay, and that's Lindell, right? So Lindell then turns around, and Evan goes, "You know what? I won't turn. I won't turn one way. I won't turn the other way. I'm just gonna back skate and look." Just falls completely out of the play. Who's the other Oiler in this?
I don't know.
He's doing all the work. 36, 38, something like that. I don't know. I'm gonna look it up. This is
Klingberg.
oh, it's Klingberg. That's why
Yeah.
I didn't recognize.
How did they end up out there?
Yeah, why are they out there together?
Oh my God! What a friggin' nightmare.
So yeah, continue with the
So
the play-by-play.
Klingberg is like fighting for his life.
He's
okay?
done everything.
That's good gap
Everything
control,
is
John.
So
Here we go.
Yeah, so John is trying to push Lindell to the side. Whose
my
number
God.
is that? Number 10? I can't even tell for the. And then Bouchard's like, "I'll help you, John." And then Klingberg's like, "Cool," but then Lindell gets the puck back to center at the blue line in the Oilers' defensive zone.
He doesn't look like he's playing hockey.
And then Bouchard is just like, "You know what? You got this, John. You're good. I'm gonna rah John." Like, what is happening here?
So yeah, well,
I know this
Back
goal.
to Nate Schmidt.
I know this goal is about to put you down in the third with a little under 9 minutes to play. He shouldn't have played another shift. It's unbelievable. This player.
Did you guys notice the little whack he had on when the play's
Where is
like
that?
almost
Oh,
done?
Is that to the third F2 or F3?
So right there, he's just a little whack.
That wouldn't have cracked a pinata.
Like it's just whack. I'm doing something.
That's on Jonah Gadovich.
Like what
by
are
the
you
way.
doing?
He just smacks Jonah Gadovich.
Gadjevich.
I did
Gadjevich,
something.
sorry.
Yeah, I took a penalty by hitting a guy in the thumb.
Not
Dude.
Did he
not
take
great
penalty
effort.
I don't know. He should have.
No penalty.
Oh my
but
God,
that
that is.
that
No.
was-
No.
You want the celebration?
No, I'm not okay with this Bouchard slander. You guys saying he did nothing. Look at him fishing the puck out of his net.
This is pain, man. This is so bad. And you know,
Look at him. No one else did it. No one else did it. Atta boy!
Yeah.
Oh, and he fired it down the ice.
because he's mad.
Working on his outlet passes.
He's mad.
Straight legged. He's mad at who?
It shows he
mad at who?
Don't you think it shows he cares?
Channel it. Holy shit.
Holy.
One of the most mystifying players in the league. If he gave the vaguest of fucks, he'd win the Norris.
This looks like he's at a public skate.
Does he want to play on the Olympic team next year or not?
I don't think he wants to play on the Oilers.
Seemingly not. Because like this guy should be, if he played neutral defense, he would be an Olympian.
Can you compare Bouchard, the way he's standing right now at his public skate, to every other player on screen who's playing hockey?
All of them are knees bent, low center of gravity, sticks on the ground, two hands on them.
Sticks on the ground is such a good point.
Like that's like, Bouchard has his stick down, but does he have any weight on it? Like what is that? What do the coaches always tell you? Hard on the puck, hard on your stick, get hard on it. Like none of it. Like John Cherry stick on the ice shit. Like basic. And I know he
looks like a fill-in. This is one of the best defensemen in the league.
A fill-in would put in effort.
Oh, yeah, you're right. A fill-in, this is supposed to be one of the best defensemen in the league, and he looks like he won a contest. Dude, that's wildly unacceptable. Any other player in the league gets benched for the rest of the season because of that. Yeah, Ty Emberson does that. He gets sent to Madagascar. We never see from him again.
So when you hear Stan Bowman talk about goaltending is not really an issue, I don't blame this on
correct.
Stuart Skinner.
No,
you allowed Naismith to come in and wire one blank on your goalie. It's not really on the goalie.
Is he at the end of a shift? Like, what the fuck? Oh, my God. Lay down. You'd be more effective just laying there. And taking a swipe at the thing.
And R1.
L1, Evan. L1, R1. Down there. Yeah. Even hit L1. Just bend the knee. Propose to someone.
I do want to say big shout out to John Klingberg for trying to play some defense there. That's not what he's known for either.
He played both sides.
Yeah. he was all over the ice. I have to
left
respect
side
him.
and right side.
And you know what, Jesse?
Really good
always
middle
in position.
D.
Yeah.
Always in position.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Klingberg's trying.
They oh boy.
Yeah, go ahead goal. Middle of the third period.
I mean, this is a team that reclaimed Travis Dermott yesterday. Like, they need help.
They
need help. And we can, they can make trades. Let's start with their best defenseman being kind of an NHLer. That's shocking.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out Spectre for throwing that in the article.
We could do weekly Evan Bouchard corner.
No, he had another one too. We don't need to do it again.
No, let's do it.
The next one is him getting just outworked by Brandon Hagel.
No, let's keep going.
Outworked by Brandon Hagel. You don't
Who goes
say.
right around him.
well.
So if you want to watch this one in real time and react as well, we can do it again.
Let's go.
It's
all right. Where is he, Jesse? Where is he?
So Bouchard's
look
down
for the
here
guy
in
not
corner.
moving.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so he's just in the bottom left of the corner
so
right now.
The play-by-play, and then you can react.
Okay, so Bouchard is up by the blue line here. The puck is in the Tampa Bay zone, and they are in the corners. F1 and F2 Oiler forwards are in there. Looks like they got great positioning. Both sides of the Tampa defenseman with the puck.
17 seconds into the second period.
Yep. You know, when you should be focused.
You want to hit play?
Yeah. Okay, so then it goes out.
There you go. Pinch off that wall.
This guy.
Skate back. Okay.
And he's skating straight leg backwards and doesn't cover the
You suck.
Okay, so they all saw it in real time now.
Unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
Adam and Steve saw the goal in real time, so we can bring it up on the screen. I'll do a start and stop.
Steve, Jesse, how long before they trade this guy?
I was like, they're gonna call me dramatic.
They're gonna trade this guy. There's no way. You can't expect to win a cup playing like that. McDavid just got back from Team Canada. Are you kidding me?
I think McDavid might be Goku.
For anybody listening,
dragging this shit.
For anybody listening, what Adam and Steve just saw is Brandon Hagel has a wraparound goal against the Edmonton Oilers. He comes around the back and he scores a goal. But this whole time, Evan Bouchard is hanging out in front of the net and has all of the time in the world to cut Brandon Hagel off, because Brandon Hagel's going around the back of the net and Bouchard is in front. And he does not go to the other side of the net. He lazily strides over there and he gets beat all the way to the other side, even though Brandon Hagel's going around the back and Evan Bouchard's coming around the front. He still doesn't beat Hagel to the opposite post.
No, Jesse, you left out he also got in his goalie's way. Trying to come across,
despite
because he skates through the crease.
Despite being in front of the net, he can't beat Hagel to the other end, who went around the back of the net.
Use your stick.
That is Bouchard's play defensively. So yeah, it's terrible.
You know who loves Evan Bouchard?
Wow, I'm so glad you brought this, Jesse. Sorry.
You know who loves Evan Bouchard? Every TV salesman in Edmonton. Because I would throw a beer bottle, coffee mug, the remote through my TV.
They're going to trade this guy
82 times a year. This is one of the most gifted. How many points does he have this season, Jesse? Probably like 7.
I don't have that in front of me. So
he's a truly gifted special talent.
45 points in 59 games.
Wow.
Oh, he's down
He
a
had
bit.
82 in 81 last
He's
year.
down a bit. That's still good. It's still very good.
For a defenseman, yeah.
Like very...
Evan Bouchard and Brandon Hagel were both at the face-off dot. And Bouchard goes from the front of the net to the other front of the net, and Brandon Hagel still beats him around the back to the far post.
It's
insane.
Hagel was on the Four Nations team because Brandon Hagel is the human embodiment of effort. And also Evan Bouchard.
Here's what I don't get about this. Okay, this freeze frame is amazing here. You've got Ekholm, you've got McDavid. I think that's McDavid. Yeah, it's 97.
97.
And you're all you need to do if you're Bouchard, all you need to do is go to the right side of your goalie. As in, from Hagel's left, your right. That's all you got to do. Mm-hmm. Cover that off, and then he's got to go ring it around the boards. He's got to do a Nylander where he's just circling. Instead, you allow him to cut in at all you got to do. You can let him go around the net, but just make sure you got the right side covered. That's it.
You want to immediately improve every Oilers broadcast? Put a GoPro on his helmet. It's going to be steady.
Or just have a Bouchard cam, like in the bottom corner. What's Evan Bouchard doing? What I'm actually really surprised about, and I know that his offense is spectacular. I get that. So was Tyson Barrie's, right, in Edmonton. Why is this not a bigger issue? Oilers media are very smart.
Well, this comes from Oilers. Like, this is Mark Spector's work doing.
Agreed.
He did the legwork. They're writing about it. It's a full article on Bouchard.
But if I'm just surprised, we've known about this for a long time. This would be a weekly thing in Toronto.
I think
weekly,
daily.
It is.
Might be daily. Might be every hour.
Yeah, we're this market is too hard on defensemen. Good Lord,
that's not hard.
Good enough. Lord above. Good Holy Communion. Good every sacrament.
Good
holy. Unbelievable. Confession.
By the way, just a couple of pieces of news. It looks like I was actually accidentally bang on the money with what the Canucks offered Brock Besser. 5 years, $8 million a year. He wants more term. And also some breaking news: the Rangers, the Leafs, and the Lightning are pursuing an NCAA free agent center named Luke Hames. Hames. He's a third-year Dartmouth player. Tallied 8 goals, 12 points, 43 shots in 16 games after he missed the first 11 games of the campaign with a broken hand. Has enjoyed a career year last year. 18 goals, 18 assists in 31 games. So there's a guy that could potentially factor into even, weirdly enough, a playoff run, much in the way Matthew Nice did.
It's possible.
He's 21 years old.
Always look for the connection. John Fusco is a Toronto Maple Leafs draft pick who is on that team. So I always, whenever, remember I did that with Grabenkin?
Yep.
I was like, okay, when they discovered Grabenkin, who were they actually scouting? I don't think they were scouting him, and they were It was probably Danila Yurov, and there was another player as well. And then they found this guy who's been draft eligible for a couple years, and they're like, you know what, he's really good. Let's get him. I wonder, like, were you watching Dartmouth games and all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, look at this kid, right? You probably already have the resources there. By resources, I mean scouts. Be nice to get them. It's always the damn Leafs and the damn Rangers in this conversation.
Yeah,
and
VC and a few other players too, but VC's the one I can remember.
Yeah, every college free agent is like, well, the Rangers are in there.
Tampa gets a few of them too.
Tampa does.
Okay, so I just want to throw that out there. And then, do we want to do the athletic list for front offices here? Do we have time?
We can end with that.
Okay, all right. So here's what we got. This is the NHL agent poll, best and worst owners, contracts, etc. So, number one question, which NHL, what is the NHL, what is the area the NHL can improve the most? So this is interesting. So they've got this, these are comments more than like votes. Okay.
Got it.
So, a few agents said, I wouldn't mind them going back to 1 versus 8 on the playoff format.
Yes.
Expanding the playoff field. The league continues to grow. So it kind of makes sense that, you know, back in the day, you'd have 21 teams, but 16 of them would make the playoffs. Do we expand it to 20? If now that there's 32 teams, right? Or like have a play-in like the NBA does.
Okay, so that was Calgary.
On scheduling with 4 nations, Olympics and World Cup, I think the PA and the league have failed the players, the fans, and the owners instead of really understanding the wear and tear it has on the product.
Okay, so that was Vegas.
Yeah. On scheduling, agent said I want to see staggered start times. So, you know, he said, I don't know how we go 3 or 4 nights with literally no games and then 1 or 2 and all of a sudden everybody plays all at the same time.
There have been too many days this season where it's like every team in the league is playing.
So we'll go to the best run franchise in the league. This is number 2. What do you think gets the number 1 on that?
Best run franchise. Boston.
Okay. Jesse, what do you guess?
3 visits to the Stanley Cup final, Tampa Bay Lightning.
And they are the winner.
Damn. Why didn't I?
And funnily enough, the team with 2 in a row, Florida, is number 2. And that kind of makes obvious. And they are tied with Vegas.
I knew it.
And then Dallas is in there too in the top 4. So I think that kind of makes sense, right?
No Bruins. That was the trauma talking.
I love this one. I love this one because you remember, you're asking the agents, what's the best front office to deal with? So basically, who's the best buddy guy?
I'm going to sign with Tampa again.
Tampa is tied for first.
With Florida.
Minnesota. Florida's in there.
Minnesota.
Yeah, because Bill Guerin is right? Like
I guess Suter and Parise getting those giant contracts. Everybody's like, Minnesota.
Big money Minnesota.
You just get blank checks all the time.
Dallas and Florida. So it's interesting because it's Minnesota, Tampa, Dallas, Florida. So 3 of those 4 teams were considered teams that were the best run as well. Worth noting that Colorado, Detroit, New York, Philadelphia, and Vancouver all got 2 votes each. And there was a bunch of teams that got 1 vote, and none of them were Toronto. Number 3, which is the most unstable or poorly run franchise? Guess.
Buffalo.
Jesse.
Oh, that's a good guess. Buffalo.
Buffalo is the winner.
Ah, nice.
Give me 2 and 3.
Oh,
Poorly run.
Anaheim. There's a lot. One thing I'm surprised about is we sort of went in on Anaheim and Greg Cronin a month or so ago, and the amount of messages I've gotten since then from people who are like, you don't know the half of it.
No.
So I'm going to say Anaheim. And young GM, team's not doing so good, Chicago.
You nailed it.
Yeah, well done.
So Buffalo, Anaheim, Chicago, and weirdly enough, the Sharks are tied with Chicago as well.
Wait, those are just teams that are not good.
Yeah,
that's
they're
not
rebuilding.
Yeah.
I guess they would
And
say,
also, we're going there. They can't be bad.
no, I don't think they can be bad. Carolina is one that came in 5th, and I thought that was interesting.
Because of the owner. I
young
would
GM.
think.
Yeah.
Oh,
The owner, people think he's cheap. Right?
Apparently, well, and he apparently is like directly involved in like all player things. So if this Mikko Rantanen thing doesn't work out for them, maybe Eric Tulsky can look at him and go, see, I told you.
when I say young GM, I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm saying
Why do you hate Eric Tulsky?
people in hockey probably think it's a bad thing.
What's the most difficult front office deal to deal with in the entire league? Give me a guess.
Difficult front office.
I'm gonna
Carolina.
go Buffalo.
Carolina's 2.
Damn.
Buffalo actually didn't get a they didn't get a vote, Jesse.
No,
Toronto did.
Nobody deals with them.
Toronto got one.
They never
vote.
make moves.
The team that far and away won this was the Ducks. Pat Verbeek, and that
there you go.
tracks
See?
with that tracks with what I've heard about the Ducks. I have heard that Pat Verbeek is an extremely difficult. Now that might be a good thing. I mean, the people said that about the Raptors front office too, that they're a pain in the ass to deal with.
People can't stand Verbeek and they can't stand Cronin.
And maybe the Ducks look at that and they go, "Well, we're happy about that. Good. I don't want to be easy to deal with." I don't know. I don't know. Here's the quote. Pat Verbeek is cranky and runs the show himself. And GM Jeff Solomon is a grinder. I like those two guys, but they're tough. I appreciate that they're assholes.
That took a turn.
Somebody else says Verbeek is ridiculous. He draws lines in the sand and sticks by it irrationally.
Oh, wow.
Another quote, the guy that makes Anaheim tough is Jeff Solomon. He does all their contracts. Something as simple as doing entry-level deals. They're going to nickel and dime you on everything. The so-called old school mentality, they say, is a theme here. So no surprise that the Islanders show up on it. They were number 3. They're the biggest pain in the ass to deal with, says an agent. A lot of old school people.
When I threaten to talk to the media about a negotiation and they send me a picture of my house. They just send the outside of my house.
This will not surprise you. Lou Lamoriello has no ability to let anyone else have any responsibility. It all goes through him every conversation. I respect the Islanders, but it's draining, and Lou definitely holds it tight. And also they said about Carolina, it's dysfunctional and the owner micromanages everything. And also somebody said on the Predators, who finished 5th on the list, Nashville is like pulling teeth on all levels, dealing with them on contracts.
Wow.
Best owner in the league. You don't have to know the name, just know the general.
Good, because I forget his name. Tampa.
He won. Who's number 2 though?
What's his name? What's his name?
Jeff Vinnick, but he's mostly sold, but is still running. But who's number 2, guys?
Shoot, I forget his name.
And you know what? I'll give you this. It's a 3-way tie for number 2. So if you pick any of these 3 teams, you will win.
Vegas.
Seattle.
Seattle.
Seattle not on the list. Nah. Vegas on the list. Bill Foley. Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment.
Oh, interesting.
And Vinny Viola.
In Florida.
Florida Panthers.
I thought about saying Florida too.
And worst owner in the league. What do we think?
Does it rhyme with Ari Pagula?
Second.
Really?
Who's number 1? Come on, I just talked about him. Tom Dundon.
Yeah.
So
I hate that guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
One of the agents said, I don't know how he has the time or energy. He is the de facto GM. A lot of people in our business hate that
Dundon is?
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of people in our business hate that Tom is so fucking involved, and he is basically the manager, and he has a lot of strong opinions too. He's not afraid to tell us all of those opinions privately as well. His GMs and assistant GMs have to ask him permission for everything.
At some point, The Athletic decided to allow the fucks fly.
Well, it's dashed out. But
boo.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Screw them.
But I'm just telling you because they say F -- or whatever. What should Connor McDavid make on his next contract? And they'll say dollar figure or cap percentage. And remember, teams look at cap percentage. His next deal will come when the cap is supposed to be about $107 million.
Oh, don't make
so that'd be roughly $21 million?
18.
So you think, so here are the options.
Remember, we're talking to agents.
You think 18 million? Is that what you think? Is that what they...
17.
Okay.
0.3.
Jesse, what do you think the agent said? You can say percentage, or you can say money.
The max. Well,
most of them said he should make 20% of the cap.
Yeah, isn't that the max?
It probably will be. Yeah, I think that is the max. So that would put him at $22 million a year.
Son of a gun.
So one agent said whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
And then biggest issue in the next CBA negotiations. One agent said, I hope none. I hope we've ironed them out. We've had enough battles in my life. Over 30 years as an agent, we don't need another. Most agents, by the way, are pretty have been in this a long time, with the exception of Judd Moldover, who I believe has McDavid and Matthews.
Yeah.
And then there's Bedard's agent as well, who's quite young.
Brisson?
No.
Oh.
Bedard's direct agent. I forget his name. But
Sorry, I know we're getting to the end of the show because you're like Judd and I'm like Apatow.
yeah.
Your brain's fried.
Some of them are saying escrow. Other people are saying the Canadian dollar. Luxury tax for teams that want to spend over the cap.
Did anyone say guaranteed contracts?
Nobody said guaranteed contracts. I think that's under the radar issue that should be addressed. So here's what the agents said. On travel, conference travel and rivalries, I think they should add extra in-division games, 1 or 2 in the conference, rather than, say, Tampa going to Vancouver. The travel is so taxing and they don't draw well. So that's interesting.
So with that issue, I always have a hard time balancing with you don't get to see every team all year. You know, it's like, because if you want more in division games, then you have to take away. You play every team once, home and away.
Yeah.
But like, I like that from a fan perspective.
I do too. Apparently, the average fan doesn't, though.
Yeah, which is weird.
And I guess because there's less. In theory, I guess there's less like, okay, we play Vancouver twice, although Toronto and Vancouver hate each other. But let's say you're Tampa and Vancouver, and there's not, the stakes are less, right? There's less stakes.
But like, because then there's like a situation where it's like Connor McDavid doesn't come to your town every season.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to balance that. If the average fan doesn't care, but the average fan needs to realize, like, okay, you don't like Vancouver, Tampa, but Edmonton, Tampa, you only get that because you get Vancouver, Tampa.
This all started with Crosby.
Yeah.
Because there were teams near the beginning of his career where it's like, oh, Crosby hasn't been here for like 3 years.
Yes.
And they decided, hey, that's insane. So this exists because of a handful of players, and maybe it shouldn't.
I think it should, though.
Yeah.
I think we'd go back to that thing. It's like, how can you believe that Connor McDavid hasn't been here in 2 years?
I don't hate it.
There is
I don't hate that you get to see everybody.
Yeah.
The CHL college rules, I think there's a lot of discussion about the 4-year college free agency thing. Teams hate that. Agents love it, where you can just walk to free agency after 4 years. I'm like, to me, I look at that and I go, what are you going to make it 5? Like, stop it, guys. You're going to have teams drafting 22-year-olds? Come on.
I thought
stupid.
I thought underrated. They were going to say like it takes too bloody long to get to unrestricted free agents.
I think the agents are saying that. I think the teams are going, well, we want it to be longer, and it's like,
okay,
yeah, okay.
No,
on signing bonuses, this is an interesting one. The agent says the signing bonuses haven't kept up with the cost of living. If you're a rookie in New York and you're told to get an apartment and you'd rather stay in a hotel for 3 more months, to me, Connor Bedard making $95,000 on a signing bonus is crazy. That hasn't changed, by the way, in like 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't go up with the cap. It just stays. It is what it is.
Right.
And that, objectively, for the best player of their year, they should be I know $100,000 is a lot to us, but you lose half of that to tax, and then another whatever X% to your agent.
They are also making nearly $1 million in salary.
If they're playing in the top league. Not every first overall pick does.
Yeah, but the guys who are getting these big bonuses, right?
I still think that $95,000 is a fucking joke. Yeah.
Well,
that's a joke.
It's going to be interesting because, like, what is league min going up to, and is it going to keep up with inflation of what the stars are making? Because if
it should a little bit, it should go higher than 7.75.
Well, if stars are going to start making 14, 15, 16, 17,
20 million,
like, geez, having young players in your lineup is going to squeeze a lot of guys out of the league because, I don't know, I got this guy cost controlled for 3 years.
Yeah.
At, I don't know, $1 million.
If he hits bonuses, it's like a max 3.25 or whatever it is.
Yeah, and
that's
those are
A.
unicorns.
We're
talking like Austin Matthews, right?
Yeah.
That's going to affect roster.
Even Mitch didn't get Schedule A. Like,
no,
Lou wouldn't let him have it.
And this is why you don't trade Easton Cowan, according to Steve Dangle.
I didn't say that.
We've come full circle.
On waivers, on player safety, this is a no-brainer. Player safety department needs to be overhauled. Duh. On waivers, entry-level players have to wait so long before they're eligible to be put on waivers. I think a team should have 2 years to assess the talent of a player and develop them. Good players are getting trapped in the minors for too long. Not sure if I agree with that. But because I do think it can take, especially guys that are not Connor Bedard, I think it takes 3 to 4 years. And the team should have the ability to hang on to that and develop that. That's what I think. I know.
I need Alan
would reach through the
to kick down the door and be like, bullshit! Abolish the draft.
To the shock of nobody, all of them except for one said, "Are you in favor of the NHL expanding?" They all said yes. If you were in favor of expansion, which market should the league add, and what do you guys think?
Houston.
Houston won.
Yes, nailed it.
Make 2 and if you can get 2 and 3, you definitely won't get 4.
Kansas,
Dallas, or not Dallas. You did Houston. What's the one? Yeah, Kansas. I guess is the other one. Kansas City,
Quebec.
I don't. Portland.
Neither of those.
Mexico City.
Close to Mexico. Close-ish to Mexico. One of them. Already been a team. Come on, guys. Already had.
Oh, Arizona.
And already had a team.
And no longer does?
Mm-hmm. Big market, top 10 market.
If you say Phoenix, I'm going to kick you. Oh, Atlanta.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
And then the fourth team that they voted on, Kansas City, Portland, and Quebec each got a vote. But the team that came in number 4 was another team in Toronto.
Hey.
Are you in favor of expanding the NHL season by adding more games or a play-in tournament? Most of them said no. Some of them said no to the regular season, yes to the play-in, which is not really surprising. Who is the future GM to watch? I'll just run through these. I'm not going to make you guys guess. Spezza Penguins, Scott White Stars, Brett Peterson Panthers, Brandon Pridham Leafs, and then a couple of agents said myself.
Okay, so Alan.
No, I don't. Alan would not. Alan would never work for a team.
I'm teasing.
So anyway, that's the survey. I thought that was interesting.
A lot of fun stuff.
It does kind of go to show that like fans are pretty attuned to who's poorly run and who isn't, right? Like you pretty much know.
Well,
all you have to do is kind of pay attention.
So much of the information that gets out there in the media is from these guys. So I feel like we're conditioned by them a little bit. That's why I was like, I know these guys. And we're like nailing it. They are not shy about talking about the teams they hate. There's a reason they were like, the Ducks stink.
I bet the Ducks double down.
Stink.
I bet the Ducks double down on that. So,
oh no, I think Pat Verbeek read that and handled it really well.
All right, so this weekend, as a heads up, I am doing the Pittsburgh Penguins stream on Sunday afternoon. There is no Saturday night game for the Leafs. You can hit that extra, Jesse, if you want to. No Saturday night game for the Leafs because, we got one tonight. And we're facing Pittsburgh Penguins, the Kyle Dubas revenge game,
at
part
1
7.
In the afternoon.
Yeah, in the afternoon. Yeah. And then Sharks Monday.
Woo! The Sharks, you say?
Mm-hmm. Do you know anything about them?
No.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.